But when you want to start getting back to being an elite team, you got to start winning these home games. And you got to win home games even against good teams. That should be your advantage. If you play them at their place and they're good, okay, maybe you get a couple of them. But you don't walk in there going, oh, we're definitely going to win. I want to get back to a place where teams come in here going, man, we ain't going to win.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't been that way lately.
You talk about Acrisure Stadium and this venue not being like it once probably was now. And I've talked to a bunch of players that have played against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and it's not really just about the stadium. And most players that I've talked to, it's about the tunnel. And it's about knowing that it's Pittsburgh and knowing the history and knowing the tradition and knowing that it's the Steelers. And whenever you get off of the airplane, this is the stories that I've heard a bunch of times. And this is a little sidecar.
Yeah, sure.
When you get off the airplane, you're like, okay, where's Pittsburgh? And then you have to make the drive. I mean, it's like a 30-minute drive, 35-minute drive from the airport down to downtown. And then you get to the tunnel, and you're like, well, what is this? Like, you're going to a tunnel. Not every city has a tunnel. I mean, you go to Houston, there's no tunnels. I mean, if you're playing in Pittsburgh, it's maybe one of the first times you're like, okay, like, where is the city? Where's Pittsburgh? And you get through that tunnel, the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And then you go through the Fort Pitt Bridge, and you look around, and you're like, oh, okay.
We here. And there's the Ac.
And then you look to the left, and then there's Acrisure/Heinz Field, and then the city's right in front of you, and then there's all the rivers. Like, that is where a lot of teammates I've had that first time went and played the Steelers, that they felt it as soon as they got out of the tunnel. They're like, oh, we see why that this is such a historic tradition, a smash mouth city that we have to bring our A game. It's more outside of the stadium.
Football town.
It's a football town. You could feel it. And I heard that story so many times, and I was just like, I never really comprehended it because I've done it so many times, and it's kind of just like, second nature. But then, I put myself in their shoes, and whenever you go through that tunnel and that stadium pops up, and you've known what this city has done for years and years and years.
You start to feel the history of it.
You feel it. It doesn't matter what team is going to walk out in the field of Pittsburgh Steelers, it's the Steelers.